And welcome to the Garden City Parks and Rec meeting of September 26th, 2023. You gonna do the pledge before we do roll call?
You're basically just calling the meeting to order at 6:31, and then we'll go ahead with the Pledge of Allegiance.
All right, well, let's go ahead with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'll take roll. Sue McFadden, present. Demita Dubois, who is not going to be here. Brendan MacArthur,
Present.
Kate Smith,
Here.
John Jones,
Here.
Dennis Kaplinsky,
Here.
Jennifer McConnell,
Here.
Robert Smith,
Here.
Dennis Allison, Zachary Witt, and Kim O'Farrell.
Here.
And then I'm saying it's safe to assume that Dennis and Demita are absent, excused.
Excused, correct.
Yeah, Dennis did email, and he is out of town.
Can I get an approval of the agenda?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
Does anyone have any comments or corrections to the minutes?
Sue, can we vote on the agenda?
You got to go back and finish the approval of the agenda.
Yep.
We got to vote on the agenda.
Oh, I'm so
We approved
sorry.
the agenda, and now we'll have to vote on it.
Right.
You're okay.
All
I'll
right.
make a motion to approve the agenda.
And I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, on to the minutes. Oh, all opposed? Oh, you're right. You're right. It's been a while. Right, motion carries.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Presentations.
I'd like to welcome McKenna. They'll be presenting the 5-year master plan for the Parks and Recreation Department. Commissioners, you do have a draft in your packet tonight. I'd like to welcome McKenna, if you can introduce yourselves to the commission. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening, Commissioners. My name is Lauren Sayre. I'm the project manager working on this Parks and Rec update, and I'm joined with my colleague Hunter.
Hunter Whitehill. I actually worked on the last one in 2018. I can't say, maybe a couple familiar faces, but
I remember you.
yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, in any case, we kind of went through, updated some demographics in this Parks and Rec plan. We updated the maps. We brought it up to, top of the line graphic standards, and really, we had to go through each park, take new pictures, verify the inventory, which is one of the state requirements, as well as tracking all the grants that the city has had over the years, and making sure that's part of the submittal to the state. And really the focus of today is to start the 30-day review period. So we're not asking you to recommend adoption, we're not saying this needs to be the way it is right now. We just need to start this 30-day review period, which is required by the state. And I guess, Lauren, do you want to get into the schedule for the next steps?
Yeah, so as Hunter mentioned, today we're hoping to kick off that 30-day comment period, and it'll conclude on October 27th. And so in the middle of that comment period, there's actually going to be a community forum, and that's going to be led by Kim and her staff. So that'll be a great opportunity for the community members to directly provide feedback, meet the Parks and Rec staff, and a good chance to kind of advertise that this document's out there, they can review it, they can comment on it. Then on November 28th, at your Parks and Rec Commission meeting for November, we'll have a public hearing regarding the plan. So we'll incorporate the changes that we hear from that 30-day period as well. And at that meeting, we'll hope to get a recommendation to City Council to adopt. And then December 18th, City Council is when we're planning on getting the adoption. At the end of the day, these are due February 1st, so we do have some wiggle room into January if needed, if this commission's not quite comfortable with where the plan's at in November. We do have that flexibility. But I think you guys all have seen the plan, you probably have a chance to look it over. I guess we can open it up to any questions you might have.
Did you say that the meeting was, or the public hearing was gonna be on the same night as one of our meetings? Did I understand that, or did I misunderstand you?
Yes, that's correct.
Yep.
But our next meeting
Our November meeting.
It's not the 28th, it's actually the 24th.
It's the 24th of November.
I believe it's the 24th, isn't
November
it?
24th.
October.
October 24th.
So we're looking for the November meeting.
November meeting.
Because the
Okay.
October one still falls within that 30-day period.
Right, right.
Okay.
Yep.
So we'd have to, so what's the November date?
November 28th.
So I guess it'd be good to make sure we have a quorum here at that day.
Yes.
It's very rare we don't.
Well, I remember last time I was in Garden City, during deer season, that could be a problem, but that was with City Council and Planning Commission, so maybe you guys aren't the same way.
Any questions for McKenna? Okay, so again, we're in that 30-day review period, so it's really important that the commission looks over this draft. There will be changes. There'll be changes. I have some extra copies here. Again, it's a very thick book. It's very thick. Go ahead.
I do have a question. Is there any way we know what we've accomplished and what we haven't, looking through what I'm holding in my hand? Does that make sense?
From the last plan?
Yes.
Well, I will say, so just give you a little background, every 5 years, the state requires you to update this plan. And I will say that's a pretty quick turnaround because in 5 years, sometimes not a lot changes. We did update the goals and objectives based on some things that we had talked with Kim about and some things I knew from the last 5-year plan, as well as some input that we had gotten. In terms of, in totality though, I would say it does contain a lot of the same information, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's pretty common, to answer your question.
I think really my key question is how many things did we accomplish in the 5 years that we said we were that are in there?
Well, I know one of the big things when I did this in 2018 was the playground improvements. And I still know I know that's been kind of a messy process, but I know that you guys have kind of been continuously trying to get those implemented. Some other recommendations were some more programming events, which Garden City has quite a bit. I do know that you guys have gotten rid of some programs, but I think some of our goals and objectives reflect that, hey, we need to maintain the programs that are beneficial to the city and their residents. So I don't know if there's a way to say indefinitely down a list, accomplished, not accomplished, because a lot of it has been retained because it's still good goals, right?
Right.
We wouldn't want to just scrap it because we didn't do it in the last 5 years.
Well, the other thing is, do we need to reevaluate it and say, is that still a goal that's viable?
Well, that would be
Because
part
that's
of,
one of the things
That's
you don't
part
want
of
to
the
miss out,
review.
because 5 years ago, it could have been a plan. 5 years later, it's not.
absolutely, and kind of where you can visualize those goals and objectives are actually towards the end in our action program table, or action plan table, I apologize, that begins on page 66. It kind of gives you a breakdown of, okay.
It's chapter 6.
Chapter 6, yep. And it kind of gives you a breakdown of objectives and actions that we're prescribing to achieve those objectives and what facilities those are relevant to. And, some of this information was used, some of this information was generated because of what we had in the 2018 plan, and their priority may or may not have changed depending on if we determine that's still something that should be high priority or not. And you'll see the table extends through several pages, so, really, some of the most important things I think you guys should look at is this chapter 6, saying, okay, that makes sense. Well, okay, McKenna, that doesn't make too much sense. Maybe we need to change that. Because in reality, these are the things that are going to determine if you're going to be able to get grants or not from the state. They look pretty meticulously at these actions and objectives to say, okay, was this something that the city had alluded to within the Parks and Rec plan? If so, you get a higher likelihood of getting that grant.
I like the idea that you put each facility there in high, medium, or low priority to whatever. we want to
Absolutely,
accomplish.
that's what the state looks for too. Yep. And Lauren did a great job making these tables because they look a lot better than they did in 2018.
I was gonna say, this looks really good. I love the pictures of the parks with the table underneath it, really detailed this time. I'm not saying it was bad last time, but it's more modernized, I feel, this time. Another thing too that I was thinking, and what we had brought up here is we had 2 years of COVID. So within the 5 years that we've had and trying to figure out how much have we gotten accomplished, we have to also accommodate the fact that we had 2 years of not being able to do anything, hence where we are with the park grant and having to go back and try to get that approved again too. So I'm looking forward to the next 5 years of being able to work with this. So
Awesome.
but you guys did a great job. So
Yeah, thanks. I will shout out our graphics team. They do a great job with that.
yes, tell them fantastic job.
And Commission, the old one, if you don't have a copy, it looks like this, and it is on the website, so, okay. Yep.
Yeah.
So. Anything else we can think of?
So we'll leave our cards here so that you guys can get in contact with us if you have any feedback on the plan as well.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you both for coming,
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And then, I know my assignment, so I got it down.
Just that picture, if you can.
I will.
And if it's not posted, just post it.
Got it. Yeah, I'm gonna leave those, that copy at City Hall. Thank you very much.
These are high priority.
Right.
Okay, so the goal is Chapter 6, review. Like in the past, with some of my commissions, I've gone through this process before, we have had a study session as a commission to discuss some of those things. I'm not sure if you guys would like to do that. I don't know how the city has done this in the past, but, every city operates a little bit differently. But again, all of you know that we do have the community forum on Tuesday, October 17th from 6 to 8. The entire Parks and Rec staff will be there, and you are more than welcome to join us for that community forum at Radcliffe.
What was the date and time, did you say? I'm sorry.
October 17th at Radcliffe from 6 to 8 p.m. It'll probably be either in the Heritage or the Student Lounge. Didn't pick anything yet.
McKenna gonna be there? Anybody from, or
No, that's just run through us. Yep. And then, like I said, the goal is on November 28th, we'll have that public hearing. That will be on the agenda, inviting residents to come and say their piece. So,
I hope a lot of residents come out.
Well, as long as they don't.
time to.
Yeah, right.
I did have a question. How'd the survey results come out? You got quite a bit. There was,
So if you remember last time, they put up poster boards and stuff, and if you try and do that
okay,
here, and you got people walking.
quite a
I
bit.
think that would be at the community
Yeah.
forum.
Few hundred on the survey that got returned, which is not too bad. So, is it?
If we're gonna have public comments on the public hearing on the 20th, are we gonna limit that
To 2
to
minutes.
2 minutes or 3 minutes?
It's usually 3, but I'd have to double check with if there's an alteration in that.
Go on and on.
Yeah, 3 minutes is pretty standard, so that's what we kind of voted on with public comment, so, yep. Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
Excuse me. All right, so next we have public comments for any agenda item.
How's everybody this evening?
Oh, good.
It's good, thanks.
The DNR project that's just come in light and everything else, I have some questions. And the first one is, what was the total grant? And then we had to put 50%. What I'm looking for is we have a bid of $478,000 to do that work. What money do we have in reserve for any extras, back charges, or so forth? And do you guys have a control of the schedule of values? And that leads me to the question is, do you guys react to the financial decisions of the administration and hope that we maintain the goals that you set?
Like,
Say that one more time.
we don't react to the financials.
We've never had a big project that I could react to like this, so I do hope that we stay within budget. I do know that there are change orders sometimes that need to be issued, but it's important to work within your means, and I hope that we can stay on budget. I
And
can't
based
say.
on ISO 2000, 2001, which I got in doctrine when I was in the corporate world. And what we had was, at the end of a job, you had a lesson learned, and you went through all of your errors. And I'd like to pick apart Helen Park myself. I mean, that was, the contractor you had buried both axles of his equipment. That means we had a defective contractor. So how do we police ourselves from finding people to where it cost us money because of their incompetency, but based on the low bid policy we have to endure, you get what you pay for at times. And I just would like to make sure we maintain and utilize our money the best we can for our children.
I don't know if you can have it both ways. If you want to stay within budget, then you're going to go with the low contractor, and if you want better work, then you're going to go above budget and pick a better contractor for more money, right? So,
Or we could maybe see if we get some
one or
sort
the
of
other.
seminar for some key people on construction management.
Well, the way I understand it, we're an advisory board to the city council. It is the city's responsibility to keep track of all the monies that are spent, and if the contractors are fulfilling their contract as they signed.
And Sue and Dennis, that's why I'm trying to get my brain wrapped around,
Well,
because
the agreement isn't signed with Parks and Rec. The agreement is signed with the city. So the city does what you're talking about.
so, Mr. Farrell, you don't sign the bid package at all?
No, all the contracts are through the clerk's office and city council. I do not sign that, and the city manager. And again, I understand this is public comment, so we are, as a commission, listening to your comment. I'm taking notes down, and then I would follow up with you with the answers to your questions.
And I'm just trying to create a conversation pattern to improve our transparency and accountability within the whole community. And I think this group here, I'm more welcome here than a couple other ones. Is that a fair way of saying it?
That's a fair way of saying it. I would say that's fair.
And I'm just trying
But I think a lot of times what happens is it's really hard for you. You think we have more, I've noticed you've been at enough of these, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong. You always think we have more authority than we do. And we don't.
And personally-
We're an advisory board.
That's it.
That's it. We're an advisory
And
board.
personally,
And they
John,
will
I
come-
want you guys to be responsible because I think you have it wrapped around, you know what's going on more so than the clerk and those, because how many other projects do they have? I mean, I'm not gonna get caught into the gymnastics of proper protocol and efficient mannerism. I just wanna use our money prudently for the best interest of our children.
And I think we all do. I think we agree with that.
Yeah, I think there's not one person sitting up here that disagrees with that comment. Unfortunately, we don't have funds. We're not writing the checks. We say to city council, yep, we agree, this is what we'd like to see done. The bids don't come to us, the bids go to them. So it's the questions you're asking, in reality, should be asked to council, not to us. Does that make
But
sense?
I could cop out and say, you're my liaison to them, and I'd like a response.
I don't mean to cut you off, sir, but it is a 3-minute comment period. And you can come see me in my office, and I'll try to answer as many questions as I can for you.
You've been
And
helpful.
we've been
I
cool.
have no problem with that, but the thing is, it's now on public record, and not, our conversations are private in between you and I.
Understood. But thank you.
And I try to be professional, even though sometimes I lose. But thank you for what you do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to items for consideration. Old business, which is City Park DNR playground update.
Yes. I want to thank council for last night. They did approve the bid award. Again, I don't know if you watched the council meeting last night. I did a quick presentation, very short and sweet to the point. We did proper bid solicitation, and the bids were opened in the clerk's office on the 5th of September, and the low bid to Pentura LCC in the amount of $477,465.50. So council did approve that. That is a 50% matching grant. And I did confer with our financials that the money is there from a bond from 2019. That bond existed prior to me, maybe prior to some of all of you. I know this project has been lingering, and then the COVID hit and all sorts of left-rights happened. So the good news is I have actually worked with Pentura, very well reputable company. They do great work. So I'm very confident in the selection process with this, and that this project will be done very well. So that's all I
We have a
can.
timeframe for it, the beginning or
I
anything?
wanted to know that too.
Yeah, I mean, the goal right now, now that council's approved that, is to sit with our engineering firm, the city manager and myself and Pentura to go through the fine details of the playground. If you can kind of see up there, that's the design. That's the original bid that came in. I think they're on all of them. And I have some copies too, if you can't see that. It's kind of a bit of a distorted screen, but you can pass those down. And then the original bid is right here that was open. But, you know, the new types of playgrounds, you're gonna see, you know, different types of if you look at what we have now, that's, I think that playground's 25 years old, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, don't quote me on that. But the newer types of playgrounds, they have inclusive play, safer designs. You'll see a lot of more ropes in the playgrounds nowadays. But I'm excited about the project. The layout is great. And I'm actually going to be working with them to see if we can preserve some of the swings that are currently out there. Some of, you know, our equipment's not in horrible shape.
No.
It's not horrible. Because I walked it, I got some pictures. So we may reconfigure some things, keep some of the swings out there. But you know, some of the smaller apparatuses, the little tykes, there's some wear and tear on those, some sharp edges and all of that. So, but I'm going to work with Pentura to salvage as much as we can to, you know, make the playground as big as possible, I guess you could say.
Who chose what we're getting in here? Because we, at one point.
That was in the bid spec. So when the bid spec was presented, you know, publicly, that's what was in the spec. Those types of equipment
But in
by
the-
the engineer.
Right.
The engine-
So in other words, we did not pick
We,
this.
no.
No.
They
And
I didn't either.
And anything we asked for did not get.
did not get in there.
I wasn't here because it was the original 2019 plan.
But we, at that point,
big
we,
hook. See ya.
we received several different copies of different playground. and-
2019?
Yep.
Okay.
And we were asked to look through it, and we were to discuss what we liked, what we didn't like, the aspects, what we would like to see brought in possibly.
Okay.
And on
And I
this,
think
but,
at that time,
but,
we didn't have any prices on any of this.
no, we didn't.
It's hard to answer that, Stu, I was not here.
Pick some stuff out.
We
And,
looked at stuff,
okay,
Yeah, we looked at some things.
okay,
but we had no pricing on
Right.
anything
Got
we
it.
looked at.
okay. So again, it was and again, with the time constraints, this project has to be completed by the end of '24. And I have to apply for an extension on this particular, we didn't have a lot of time to pick what swing or, you know what I mean?
No, I understand.
like, for
I was
me
just
come
trying
in
to
and
find
go,
out-
oh, let's all sit down and redesign the playground. I think going through that process, we could have had more problems down the road. Where in the original bid
More
spec.
problems down the road with what? With us picking out
could
what
have
we
taken.
needed?
No, it could
out what
have
we needed?
taken longer. That's all.
So in other words, what they did was they picked out what the most readily available stuff was.
I can't answer that because I wasn't here.
Okay, yeah.
Whatever
So
happened-
we need to stop this conversation because every time we ask, you're not here, we're not getting anywhere with this. We need to
But I
move
was not
on.
here in 2019.
I get that, but you can't answer anything, so we need to stop beating this
I'm
and
with
move
you.
on.
Understood.
I
So,
take it this is all ADA accessible.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
So that's the update.
So those pieces are all the ones that are gonna be used? That is like the final design?
That is the final design.
And it's within the budget.
Correct.
And we can always add more pieces, correct?
Later.
Can't answer that until I have the final budget on this project.
Okay.
I only know what the finances were told to me through our finance director, that was left in the bond from 2019.
Question for you. As long as you've been in this business, can you look at this picture and see if there's room to add to this?
There is, hang on one second. I don't know if I have it. You guys might have it, but there is a section, you can pass that, and I know up on the screen he had the layout, but there is a section that is not completely filled up, so there is some room to add in the playground. I did notice that, and that's a good thing. If we want to add something down the road, whether it's a spray feature, a shade structure, those types of things, there is room to add in this design layout, because they shifted the entire plan. They kind of shifted it and did not utilize the entire space.
I am overjoyed that this is finally getting done, and I'm sure prices have gone up a bit
They
since
have.
we first saw the design, but the first design we saw was much greater. So,
Yeah.
you know, I just would like to maybe keep it open to add more pieces
Understood.
as we go on.
Yeah.
But I am very happy to see this project finally moving forward and getting done.
This is the space, John, I was talking about. Can you kind of see that right there? Mm-hmm. That's kind of what's left open. Okay, any other questions?
Right.
That's right.
That's the main thing.
and I'm assuming it will be spring 2024?
Yeah, we're hoping to
install.
start spring, finish things up by summer. That is the goal, depending on how long things take to get in. Like I said, I'm trying to get a meeting within the next 2 weeks with the company, get things locked down, color choices, all of that. Yes.
Okay. Anybody else?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, we have nothing under new business. We have nothing under other business. So our next part of the agenda is public comment, general, non-agenda items. Seeing none? We'll go to the report from the Parks and Rec Director.
I'm just gonna briefly, talk about the program report, the financials. Again, at the last meeting, just reporting a full month of August to all of you. August is a very light month for rec, as you can see on this report. The next report, obviously the Rec Connect came out, there's double, triple the programs. You're gonna see a bulkier program income report presented to all of you in September, for the September months at the next meeting. Do you have any questions about the financials?
Summer camp brought in that much money? That's pretty good.
Yeah. Summer camp does very, very well. And then I believe like the expense line as far as just supplies and staffing and so forth, I think we cleared between 4,000 and 5,000 on that program, so that's not too bad.
That's really good.
For a half-a-day program, so. And then we have a lot of upcoming events. We have eliminated the family bingo night, and we have turned that into a family fun night with some different activities. We're researching some trivia games. I just didn't want to limit it to one game, so we're going to change that up a little bit. A new flyer will be coming out on social media here in the next week or so. The senior lunch and fun is Friday, October 13th, 12 to 2. The Pumpkin Spooktacular, the 14th of October, 10 to 11:30. Obviously, the Master Plan Community Forum is Tuesday, October 17th from 6 to 8. Parents' Night Out, Friday, October 20th. The big Halloween egg hunt is Saturday, October 21st, and that is at the softball fields at City Park at 7 p.m. The Senior Jukebox Bingo, Wednesday, October 25th, 1 to 3. And the Kids Halloween Dance, Friday, October 27th. Our youth dance for this Friday is canceled. We only had 2 people registered. That was our superhero dance. And then we did have a couple calls from the community asking why are kindergartners not included in this age bracket. So we have opened that up to kindergartners for the Halloween dance as well. So it's going to be K through 4. That's our little guys, and they dress up in their costumes. We have a DJ. Parents are always welcome to stay. We encourage them to stay with that age group, but they can just come and dance and have fun and play some games. So, and that's really all I have.
Are we doing the trunk and treat?
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that on
I
there.
don't see it on here.
I don't know if Parks and Rec has ever done the trunk or treat.
As of right now, it sounds like the GCBA chose not to do it, but there could be other plans,
There are a
but
lot of
as of right
people
now, no.
The GCYA,
No, the Garden City Business Alliance is
Oh,
who has ran it the past 2
Past.
years over at Radcliffe. So maybe stay tuned for that one.
to give you any insight why?
Well, I think that they were having a hard time with getting volunteers. And I know that, when it was at the park, I know Kim, you weren't here, but when it was at the park, it was huge. I mean, the event was,
It's huge, huge.
it brought
Yeah.
in a lot of different cities and it got too overwhelming, I think, for the businesses because they were spending a lot of money. So they moved it to Radcliffe Center. You had to have a ticket to get in. It was like $1 to get in, which was trying to monitor who, how many people came and how much candy they needed. So as of right now, that's not happening, but I mean, if the businesses, I think, want to do it, I know I'm on another commission with the Garden City Community Coalition. They're talking about possibly wanting to take that on. But in order to take that on, we need to make sure that we have enough volunteers and enough businesses to be able to do it. So that's in works right now.
Okay.
So within the next couple weeks, we'll probably know.
I know a lot of the churches in the area have.
Oh,
trunk
yeah, I mean,
treats.
every other church.
Yeah, the
has.
hospital's having
Yeah.
one too. I just
Yeah.
found that
I
out.
mean,
so-
a lot
A lot
of
of them.
people already have them, but within the city, within the next couple weeks, if that's something that the businesses can commit to, then I believe that we'll be able to, kind of pull that off, so.
But the one at
Thank you.
City Park, was that rec or was that the businesses?
That was, the Garden City Business Alliance is who actually did it, but they brought in other businesses. So it's
Okay.
kind of like a marketing thing for each business, like Urgent Care or, one of the bakeries or a florist, they would come together and do that.
I think some of the parks employees, though, worked at
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
one over at
Radcliffe?
at City Park
Oh, City
anyway.
Hall- Yeah, yeah.
And that's the first one I ever went to, and that was huge.
was
It was
huge,
just huge.
It got a little too big.
It did. It really did. I do agree with you there.
But that's the update on that.
Thanks.
luck.
Thank you.
We'll see.
That's all I have.
Okay. Commissioner comments? Start?
Yeah, I have a small comment. The walking path going through from Henry Ruff to the park, they need to weed whack that. We need to weed whack definitely along the fence, since we're not
Okay.
gonna replace the fence
Where at, sir?
on Henry Ruff, the walking path going to Garden City Park.
It runs between the houses.
Right. Because they're supposed to put a fence up there, but I guess it's not gonna happen this year, but they need to weed whack. Because
Okay.
weeds going in.
Opening is nothing.
Got it. Park
Didn't
now.
you say that was gonna happen this year, that fence?
Yeah, and the
It
fence,
ain't
I thought
gonna
it was supposed to
happen?
happen last year.
no,
I thought he said this year,
I did too,
but not yet.
but no.
No.
How did the movie go?
We had about 30, so not too bad for the first night. We did show the Super Mario Brothers, and yeah, I mean,
They had it red.
yeah, great sound. It was small group, but it was 75, 80 degrees outside on Friday night, so.
Yeah, but what do they normally have?
We've never done one inside Radcliffe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is inside, so, yeah, and we had a nice small group. They enjoyed the movie. We had popcorn and water, and that was it.
Now the word will get out a little bit, hopefully.
Yeah, so I think as the weather gets bad, maybe more people come inside.
They'll tell two friends, and
Yeah.
then they'll tell two friends, and hopefully it'll take off. I have
Yeah.
nothing.
I have a few things. I just wanted to kind of piggyback off of Mark Jacobs' last night at the meeting talking about social media, and I saw some non-truth on there, so I wanted to say, Meals on Wheels. There is no kitchen at Radcliffe. There's no stove there. I'm sure you can back me
There's
up
no
on this. So there's not even a place for Meals on Wheels to currently be at Radcliffe. And Wayne County has said that they're happy with this, so I hope that residents can be happy with this too. If the program that runs it is happy, we should be too.
Is that the one at the Methodist Church now?
Yes. Yeah, I've been seeing on social media it's still circulating, so I'm hoping to put that to rest. And then the homeschool program. As a homeschool mama, this is something near and dear to my heart. We are going on week 4 of the homeschool program, and every single week it has been sold out. There's a waiting list. So Doc is right when he says that there is a niche for this. Many of the classes that are offered during the day are offered at night. I am curious to hear what the lawyer has to say about this. I would like an update when we figure it out. Other cities that offer homeschool events. Troy, their nature center. Farmington Hills offers swim during the day. Livonia Rec, gym class and swim class. And Wayne County Parks offers a weekly homeschool class. Multiple libraries in the area do it too. So our community center and our public school are 2 separate entities. I feel that the community center is offering something that the public school is not. And to say that it shouldn't be offered because a public schooler cannot make it, to me, is sad. These are children from our community. I feel that we should be wanting our community center to thrive. Morning, noon, and night, we should be filling it up. There are 69 kid classes offered. 1 is during the day. 68 of those are offered at night. So if that's still not enough, that is wild to me. Lastly, I want to encourage residents, and especially our commission members, to speak up at our meetings instead of taking to social media, especially with wrong information. It is counterproductive and it does not help our community. So that's all I have tonight.
Thank you.
All I have is, I was wondering if we have an update on the Rotary Park Pavilion, by any chance? I know it was approved, we have.
Yes.
The siding.
I do not. Last time I spoke with Mike, things were ordered, we're waiting. I will get that answer and email that to everyone to first thing tomorrow.
That's all.
I have a few things. Kate was referring to me. That's fine. I've learned that in the city, you don't have a right to an opinion. Your First Amendment doesn't exist. It's been very clear. I've been bullied by the city manager. It's clear that's not okay. I understand you guys feel that way. That's fine. As far as the Meals on Wheels go, when I was looking through the 5-year plan, I did see that it lists a kitchen under Radcliffe. It does say that on there. So, I mean, I would ask that we fix that then, because it does list that. As far as
They
the home,
hope to build a kitchen there, but there is not one for the teaching kitchen.
okay, then we need to fix our 5-year plan. That's fine. But as far as the homeschool programs go, I feel it's wrong. It does violate our state constitution. It says right there that we cannot offer any type of program outside of the public schools.
It says right underneath that it was unconstitutional.
The second sentence of the second paragraph, if you want to go read that.
All right, guys, I think what we need to do is we need to table this. This has nothing to do with Parks and Rec, I don't think.
It does, because
No,
Parks
it
and Rec
does.
offers it.
You guys are going to get out of control on this, and I see this going the wrong direction.
He can say his piece, that's fine, and then we can wrap it up.
The city manager asked me to talk about it here, so I don't know where else to go.
It does relate to Parks and Recs. I absolutely think that he does deserve to have his say. We have different opinions, that's fine. But it's the children who suffer when you are trying to take programming away from them.
All those programs you referred to are offered at public school.
I don't do the public school thing.
That is your choice, so you're taking that away from your
My
children.
public school, though. They are separate entities.
Right, but
To
we,
say that because I can't use, I'm not a senior, I can't use the fitness center there, and that's okay, because that is for seniors.
right, we have a job to stand with our public schools, though.
We do?
Yeah, and it is against the Constitution, the state Constitution. So that's really where it should end. We're opening up our city to potential issues, and that's disappointing to me.
So if the law says that it's okay, you're on board? Is
Sure.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Are you done?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. I'd like to thank you again, to the folks from McKenna for coming out this evening, going through what you have, the little bit that you were able to with us. I'm sure that we will have more questions and comments next time we see you. First thing I want to mention is when I went to pick up my packet today, the young lady sitting at the front desk had a really nice green hooded sweatshirt. It says Parks and Recs on it. And I don't know, do any of you guys know that they have Parks and Rec sweatshirts? Because I didn't know that.
All staff does.
Don't worry.
Shirts, yeah.
Don't worry, in about 30 years, you'll get yours.
I don't think I remember. But so when I was out in Wixom, though, we had sweatshirts that were granted, commissioners were given, but that's not my point here. That were, I mean, like the zip code had changed, so they had like 2 different zip codes. They had, one's a big ones that said Wixom for the public to buy, and it was noted. I mean, it wasn't, especially if you were like members of the community. I mean, like you went around to events and you knew that they were for purchase. So I don't know if those are available for purchase.
Well, we have a full Radcliffe store with Garden City attire, but the green sweatshirts you're referring to are staff-only shirts. Yeah, those are not available for purchase because we need to be identified as staff at events and obviously the front desk and so forth, so.
Yeah, well, I just thought it was nice. That's all I'm saying, is that it was a nice,
Because the problem can happen is if we sold them, then somebody's walking around Radcliffe acting like a staff member. So we would have problems with that. So we just try to identify as staff in our building and in our
I'm sure we
parks.
could get ones
I
that were
think
made that said Parks and Rec Commissioner on it. I mean,
Yeah.
in corporate, I'm sure could do it for us, fairly easy and cheap.
Well, we've talked about that before, and the other thing is we talked about getting shirts with our park on it. But I said the problem with
Oh,
that
'cause we
is
switched parks.
we switched
parks.
How about we just get all the parks?
So that would probably, we never got that far because that kind of got tabled because that was back a long time ago.
Do other
But you're right,
commissions
all-
have attire that say city and commissioner? Like, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
I've gotten a shirt when we first did the bacon run, and
Oh, yeah,
I
I got
We got the
volunteered.
Bacon Run
I got a
shirt.
shirt for that, and then I had like a gray shirt that said, I think commission on
I
it.
don't think it has commission, I think.
I
it's
think
just
you got
Garden
one
City.
special.
Yeah, I think
you were
yeah,
on for so long.
because you're special.
Because you were.
You are special. You are.
I mean, a couple
Just take the
options
compliment,
if-
Kate.
I've seen that in other
But you
places.
wear it
If you're working at an event or something like that.
If the commissioners are, considering going to the events, like we should like drop in at events, it may be helpful to have some type of, something, a shirt or a name badge. They're very small and you just pin it on or, magnetic. So that could be an option too. Would you guys be interested in doing a shirt or a badge?
I'd be interested in a golf polo, probably.
And is that something that we need to run by you or city manager or?
I just don't know if that was budgeted for this year. That's, like I said, I'm still kind of
Okay, yeah, we
wiggling
can
through
put
the
it-
budget and so forth,
Yeah.
so.
Pay for
Can we
it
pay for it ourselves?
ourselves, yeah. we
Or,
pay for
or
it
the other
ourselves.
thing is, where's our special fund budget for Parks and Rec? We have that little cash fund somewhere.
It's like $50 for food.
No, I think there's more than that. If they didn't take the money, if they didn't take the money out
I'll
of
get
it,
a price for
there's
some
more than that.
sweatshirts and shirts. Pass it all along to you and you guys can pick the color. How's that sound? There we go.
That's the other option.
I'll get some prices.
I think in that one fund, I think there's like 200 or 300.
The other thing I wanted to ask about was the packet. I was able to go and pick mine up today. However, that's not going to be something I'm going to be able to do every week,
Okay.
especially with what's going on. My life's rather busy in the evenings right now. So is this a permanent thing? We're no longer having packets delivered to our house?
That's what we had talked about and voted on, that I would email all of you the agenda and all the information in it. And we
I
did vote
remember
on
that,
that.
but I
Yeah.
don't remember not getting a packet in the mail.
That was to replace delivering packets to you.
So then,
So I put all the packets together on Friday.
Shit.
You can swing by and pick those up.
You know how much shit I print off every day? I don't need it.
But if you are not able to and physically not able to do that, we can make an accommodation, obviously.
I'm still working, I'm still in sales.
I think it was fine for me because I could look at it online. I mean, you brought it to me today. I was able to view it ahead of time when you had emailed it out. It's so, easy for me to just pull up online, look at the PDF. So,
Right.
And, thanks for bringing this today.
Yeah, the agenda is pretty standard. And then
3 or 4 pages.
yeah, this is pretty light. And again, this was the heavy duty thing that will not always be in our packet. That's when I had said, if you need, I don't know if you have printers at home or printers at work, but obviously this is a big document. Of course, I'm going to print it for all of you. But I don't know everyone's situation and how you want to proceed with that. That's why I kind of try to do an email communication with all of you. So, but if you need some assistance with the drop-off, yes, we can take care of that. Just call me or email me. My cell number is in there for all of you now. And I will do whatever I can to help you.
all right,
Okay?
that's all I have then.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Oh, I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion's passed.
There we go.
I made my first motion.